Hi guys, Raynal here. Today we're doing into our second day of quick pick matches. I did a couple small changes to my team. Mostly I changed my Vesalier out for Aerith because I've been informed that people can see the jobs that they have, and so they can tell my Vesalier is not EX'd. That makes my bluff a lot less effective. And I also realized that typically my Mord does survive the initial burst from the enemy team, so if I'm able to heal after that first burst, any physical attacker will be negated because they'll be out of AP, and then I can just keep healing while I have a very, very strong attacker in the form of Halloween Little Leela. So I plan on using Aerith on that day. And then I also removed Bells from Oberon to give them to Macherie. It will give a lot of AP for Macherie's barrages, but also I've been informed that Oberon, his barrier is really important, and the way I was running him, he would not put that up, so he would be fairly susceptible to getting one punched. So these are the two changes we've made moving forward. Another change I've done is I've commented on the matches after they were recorded, rewatching them, so that's a little bit different as live commenting. Let me know how you guys like that, and if you want me to keep doing it as is, or comment live while I'm playing the matches. This was my first match, and I wasn't really sure what my enemy would run. It would either be 2 light units and Cloud, or 2 light units and Black Rosa Helena in my mind, and in either case, I felt like if I controlled the damage coming in, if I could heal back with Aerith sufficiently right in the beginning, I would have proper control over the match. My Leela would flank, and then she would AoE them down. So that's what I decided to pick, the Aerith for a variation of our team. They did end up choosing the Cloud version, so that's what we're fighting. And in this setup, their Elena used her Courage immediately, and immediately also gets a re-raise from their Yuna. I think that is the optimal scenario if you're running Elena here, because I will have to kill her several times. I don't really like them using a Cloud though, because he doesn't benefit from the same VCs of the rest of his team at all. So the Cloud is pretty weak. See, he only hit June for 2k. There's no way they're going to take me down unless they use a big chain with Starlit Elena into Cloud or something like this. So my decision to run a healer here was definitely a good call. So there we take Drain Evocation, but we are already in a pretty good spot. So Aerith's going to heal that back. It's going to increase defense, which typically I don't like that much, but against Cloud, hey, why not? It's going to be a little bit more tankiness. And here, this Cloud is especially squishy because, again, doesn't have the VCs or the elemental ability from his friends, so he actually goes down in a single hit. Now at that point, that match bugged. I think the other player might have left the game, so I don't get to see the rest of the match, but I do win it. For the second match, I had a tougher time choosing. They have a Vesalier, which is a huge threat on my wind units, but 3 of their attackers are physical attackers that might run out of AP early on, and then if they do pick Starlit Elena, Yuna, and Vesalier, I feel like the damage threat is a little bit lower because Vesalier will not benefit from all the VCs she needs, and I can potentially heal back. Once more, if I can survive the initial onslaught of their team, I'm able to just stay healthy and have my Leela attack very hard. And even though they have a wind unit, Vesalier is a high fight unit, and she dies to 2 hits from Halloween Little Leela, so it's not as bad of an elemental disadvantage as you would think. Here, as the actual fight begins, let's see what happens. Something I noticed immediately is their Starlit Elena did not use Courage on turn 1. I've fought these a couple times, and in this map, I think it's a very big mistake to do that. You want her to use that first, because watch as she meets my team without having used that ability, which is critical to her kit. She immediately attacks, but she doesn't have that extra life right now. Now, they do chain their damage, both Elena and Yuna, very well, so that's fine, but it's not enough to kill me, so at that point, all I have to do is heal back, and we are in a pretty good situation. They are going to hit me with Vesalier, which scared me a little bit, but because Aerith managed to finish casting before the hit came in, that was pretty much a guaranteed win at that point. So we hit them once, take one of their members away. At that point, we start giving AP to Joom. That's not a great ability. I don't necessarily want to have that on, but I didn't really have anything better to do on the off turns of Aerith. For match number 3, my unit choice was actually pretty rough. I thought that they would probably run Ice because half my team is Wind, and if they did run Ice, well, all I had to fight them was Winter Macherie. She does have a lot of Ice resistance, but I wasn't sure if it would be enough. So what I did is I did pick 2 units and Winter Mashery, hoping that if they run Wind, since I had the, let's call it superior Halloween Little Leela, we would still be able to win. Now, my Halloween Little Leela is not as accurate if I don't have Luartha in, because she does not have access to the Near Vision card, but I made up for that by giving her the Typhon VC, Typhoon Esper, and Marshmallow Hat for aim. So hopefully she's going to land her hits, is what I was thinking there. When the match began, I was surprised to realize that they were not picking the ice. I would have absolutely picked ice if I was them, but since they didn't, our Winter Mashery pick is a little bit less good. Now, Winter Mashery, fortunately for us, has a sharpshoot. She has a guaranteed hit ability, and against to be, it can be very important. But outside of that, she is not that accurate. She has 1 passive for accuracy, so I do think I was pretty lucky. You'll see how the match plays out, but she does land a barrage on all 3 enemy members, and it does hit to be. I'm thinking my hit chance there had to be very, very low. But there we go. Halloween Little Leela manages to hit all of them, and at that point, there's really nothing they can do. We're just going to finish them with Sharpshoot, and the match is over just like that. Here, the decision-making process for picking a team was actually quite hard for me. They had 3 lightning options, which made Oberon very tempting, but if I run Oberon against the Mono Light and they end up picking Light, I might just lose because I don't have as strong a team as I have otherwise. I still end up going for Oberon though, because I don't believe that my team with Aerith or with Luartha will win against the Lightning one. I really need him if I want to win that matchup, so I was kind of forced to go with him. And as I expected, my opponent did pick the light team. He made the right decision, I believe, in that scenario, but he made a critical mistake as well. His star Elena, just like another one of our matches, has the AoE buff up, and because of that, does not use Courage before meeting my tank. That means it's extremely easy for me to take her out. So there we go. Also, their tank is kind of further away from Elena, so we are able to hit the guys we want early on. So my Oberon's going to drop his limit break. He's not especially accurate with the way I've built him, so I'm pretty surprised he landed that hit. That was definitely some luck in my advantage. But because of that, June's able to finish off the enemy right before she gets healed, and they've already lost one of their strongest units. Now, lost is a big term. I'm fighting an enemy Yuna, so they can fully well bring her back to life. But it does lose a little bit of tempo. If she had the chance to hit June and Oberon when they were grouped earlier on, I might have already been in trouble. Here, Oberon's out of AP, so he puts his barrier back up, and frankly, I'm not going to complain. It generates a lot of AP and keeps him alive, so it's a pretty good thing to have. June then moves away from Oberon. I'm not too sure why, maybe because she tried to get to the enemy tank, but I'll take it. It separates her AoE attack and makes sure that Oberon does not take that hit from Starlit Elena. I don't think it would have mattered too much if he did, because of that super strong turn afterwards where he stuns the enemy Elena and hits everybody else, allowing Leela to finish. In this fight, I see a Visalier, so I expect them to pick her. I have 3 wind units, there's no real reason why they would not. So I'm thinking that I'm going into a fight against 2 wind units and Visalier. In that scenario, I decide to use Aerith, and my reasoning is their characters are mostly units with a low AP pool. They're mostly physical attackers, so they might run out of steam before I run out of HP if I have a very competent healer keeping my tank alive. So that's what I'm hoping for when I make the Aerith pick here. When the fight begins, I'm pretty surprised to realize that they did not choose to pick Visalier for some reason, so I'm actually fighting an enemy Moor. Now, their Moor is not entirely built, she's only 107, but she performs exceptionally well in that fight. And I'm actually very scared to lose. Gives everybody a Spirit Up buff, which is instrumental in helping them survive against my Halloween Little Leela. Who is our only real damage carry, right? If Leela is not hitting the enemy team hard, I might lose. We use Refocus from Aerith. Again, maybe I should put Haste instead, I'm not too sure, but it does allow our Doom to spam a little bit, so that's not too bad. Something that really puts us at an advantage, though, is that the enemy to-be uses her limit break straight on. If you're using to-be and you don't have her use spells, I would turn her limit break off, because now she's got no AP to follow up with anything else. She's going to be forced to basic attack for a while, and that is definitely bad for them. Our Leela misses the enemy to-be. Again, I don't have access to the near vision card with that setup, so that's why we miss. And then somehow, their June is so strong in offense that she one-shots Aerith. Never really realized you could get one shot by an enemy tank before, so this makes me very scared of the match's outcome. Joom goes ahead and hit a couple people, followed up by another hit by my Leela, but they have re-raise. They have plenty of ways to deal with my team. So here, they're going to take down Joom. My Joom has re-raise as well because of Aerith, so at least that's not too bad for me. And at that point, Stormwind Rend does not take her out, so that gives me just a little bit of leeway that was very important for my match. At that point, we are in a pretty good spot because our Leela has re-raised still. She hasn't died. So I'm pretty confident that in 2 chances I have to hit the enemy more, I will. And I do hit and end up winning the first match of promos. So overall, I would say this was a pretty good day. I learned a lot from my first day, and not sending Luartha too far forward was a lot better. I'm also very happy that I was able to use some of my random picks. I actually did not use a mono win team at all today, and it performed a lot better than on day 1. Maybe I didn't fight some of those Elena, Engelbert, and Jaden teams, which I'm very scared of, but outside of that, I'm feeling pretty confident moving forward here. One thing I would like you guys to tell me is, do you want to see more of these? Typically during class matches, I will publish my matches every day so people can follow how it's going. Do you want me to do the same with quick pick matches, or do you just want to see 1 or 2 days and then the result at the end of the season maybe? Let me know, and I'll be sure to post more if you guys want to see more of these. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon.